Welcome, wanderers of the dark and seekers of the unknown, to Whispers on the Asphalt, your go-to channel for spine-tingling tales and haunted histories. Here, we explore the eerie corners of the world where shadows stretch longer than they should and the hum of tires on pavement is often accompanied by whispers from beyond. Today, we embark on a chilling journey along some of the most haunted highways in the Pacific Northwest, a region renowned for its breathtaking landscapes, dense forests, and a rich tapestry of folklore that blurs the line between myth and reality. The sinister beacons of Oregon's coastline, few things evoke the haunting beauty of the Pacific Northwest quite like its lighthouses. Perched on rugged cliffs, battered by relentless winds and crashing waves, these towering structures have long stood as sentinels of hope for sailors navigating treacherous waters. Yet beneath their stoic exteriors lies a darker narrative, one steeped in isolation, tragedy, and whispers of the supernatural. In this episode of our haunted storytelling series, we delve into Oregon's most infamous lighthouses, where the boundary between light and shadow blurs, and the past refuses to fade quietly into the night. Oregon's coastline is a place of stark contrasts, breathtaking vistas juxtaposed with an almost oppressive sense of solitude. It's no wonder that many of its lighthouses, once beacons of safety, have become crucibles of despair. The keepers who tended these lonely outposts often faced unimaginable hardships. Storms that raged for days, equipment failures, and the crushing weight of isolation. Over time, tales of strange occurrences began to emerge from these remote locations, stories of ghostly figures pacing watchtowers, disembodied voices echoing through empty halls, and lights flickering without cause. These accounts, passed down through generations, paint a chilling portrait of places where the line between the living and the dead grows perilously thin. As we embark on this journey into the shadowy corners of Oregon's maritime history, prepare yourself for encounters that defy explanation. From phantom ships gliding silently across moonlit waters to spectral guardians still tending their eternal duties, these lighthouses harbor secrets that linger long after the lanterns are extinguished. Whether you're a skeptic drawn by curiosity or a believer seeking confirmation, one thing is certain: within these walls, the echoes of the past refuse to remain silent. So, dim the lights, gather close, and let us guide you through the fog-shrouded shores of Oregon's haunted lighthouses. For here, amid the howling winds and ceaseless waves, lies a world where the ordinary gives way to the extraordinary, and where the spirits of those who came before continue to watch over the coast they once called home. Heceta Head Lighthouse. The Lady in White. Perched high above the jagged cliffs of Florence, Oregon, the Heceta Head Lighthouse stands as both a picturesque landmark and a hotbed of paranormal activity. Built in 1894, this iconic structure has guided countless ships safely through the perilous waters of the Pacific Ocean. However, beneath its gleaming beacon lies a chilling tale of love, loss, and lingering spirits, a story forever tied to the enigmatic figure known only as the Lady in White. Local legend tells of a heartbroken woman named Rue, believed to be the wife of one of the lighthouse's original keepers. According to lore, Rue lived in the keeper's quarters adjacent to the tower during the early 20th century. Her life was marked by quiet devotion to her husband and their young daughter, but tragedy struck when illness claimed the child. Devastated by grief, Rue withdrew into herself, spending hours wandering the lighthouse grounds and staring out at the sea. Some say she eventually succumbed to her sorrow, taking her own life by leaping from the cliffside. Today, visitors to Heceta Head report frequent sightings of a spectral woman clad in flowing white garments. She is often seen standing near the base of the lighthouse or gazing wistfully out to sea, her translucent form illuminated by the soft glow of moonlight. Guests staying overnight in the keeper's quarters describe hearing faint footsteps ascending the spiral staircase, followed by the sound of sobbing emanating from empty rooms. Others claim to feel an icy draft pass through them as though brushed by unseen hands, a sensation attributed to Rue's restless spirit. One particularly unsettling account comes from a group of paranormal investigators who spent a night inside the lighthouse. Using thermal imaging cameras, they captured what appeared to be a human-shaped figure moving slowly along the upper balcony. When reviewing audio recordings later, they discovered a series of faint whispers repeating the word "forgive" over and over again. Skeptics dismissed the evidence as environmental noise, but those familiar with Rue's tragic story couldn't help but draw parallels between the voice and the tormented mother said to haunt the site. Even the current caretakers of Heceta Head aren't immune to its supernatural allure. Staff members tasked with maintaining the property recount peculiar incidents involving objects inexplicably rearranged or disappearing entirely. Tools left on workbenches vanish without explanation, only to reappear days later in completely unrelated locations. Doors slam shut on their own, and lights flicker erratically despite thorough inspections revealing no electrical faults. Despite, or perhaps because of, its haunted reputation, Heceta Head remains one of Oregon's most popular tourist destinations. Its bed and breakfast accommodations attract curious travelers eager to experience its eerie charm firsthand. For those brave enough to book a stay, the promise of encountering the Lady in White adds an undeniable thrill to an already unforgettable visit. Whether you come seeking solace amidst breathtaking scenery or hoping to glimpse a ghostly apparition, Heceta Head offers an unparalleled blend of history, mystery, and spine-tingling suspense. Tillamook Rock Lighthouse, the haunting of Terrible Tilly, nestled atop a jagged rock formation nearly a mile off the Oregon coast. The Tillamook Rock Lighthouse, affectionately nicknamed Terrible Tilly, is as forbidding as it is fascinating. Constructed in 1881, this isolated sentinel served as a critical navigational aid for ships traversing the treacherous waters of the Columbia River Bar. Yet, its construction was fraught with peril, and its operational years were marred by tragedy, earning it a reputation as one of the most haunted lighthouses in the United States. The harrowing saga of Terrible Tilly began long before its completion. During its construction, a massive storm swept away tools, supplies, and even workers, claiming lives and instilling dread among those tasked with building the structure. One worker reportedly fell to his death while scaling the precarious cliffs. His body never recovered. Locals whispered that his spirit remained tethered to the rock, cursing all who dared approach. This ominous start set the tone for decades of misfortune that would follow. Once operational, Tillamook Rock became notorious for its brutal conditions. Keepers endured bone-chilling cold, deafening winds, and waves so powerful they could shatter windows and flood entire floors. The isolation proved equally punishing. Some men stationed there descended into madness, driven to despair by the unrelenting solitude. One keeper allegedly attempted suicide after weeks of confinement during a particularly violent storm, leaving behind cryptic notes about voices in the walls. His fate remains unknown, adding another layer of mystery to the lighthouse's dark legacy. Modern-day visitors to Tillamook Rock speak of an oppressive atmosphere that greets them upon arrival. Many describe feeling an overwhelming sense of dread as they step onto the weather-beaten structure, as if unseen eyes are watching their every move. Strange noises echo through its hollow chambers, groans of metal stressed by relentless waves, paired with faint cries that seem to rise from the depths below. Some claim to hear the distinct sound of boots stomping on wooden planks, though no one else is present. Perhaps the most chilling aspect of Tillamook Rock's haunting is its connection to death itself. After being decommissioned in 1957, the lighthouse was repurposed as a columbarium, a repository for cremated remains. Thousands of urns were stored within its walls, creating a macabre shrine to the departed. Although the venture ultimately failed due to regulatory issues, rumors persist that not all ashes were removed. Paranormal investigators visiting the site report capturing EVP recordings of faint whispers pleading for release, while others swear they've seen shadowy figures peering out from behind cracked glass panes. Even today, fishermen and boaters passing near Tillamook Rock tell stories of ghostly lights flickering in the abandoned tower, despite the fact that it has been officially darkened for decades. Some insist these lights belong to the spirits of former keepers, still dutifully performing their nightly rounds. Others believe they are warnings from beyond, urging sailors to steer clear of the cursed rock. For those daring enough to venture close, Tillamook Rock offers an unparalleled glimpse into the intersection of nature's fury and humanity's resilience. Yet, beneath its crumbling facade lies a labyrinth of sorrow and superstition, where the boundary between life and death is blurred, and the ghosts of those who perished refuse to be forgotten. As the waves crash against its foundations and the wind howls through its ruins, Terrible Tilly stands as a testament to the enduring power of fear, and the indelible mark left by those who dared to tame the untamable. Yaquina Head Lighthouse, the keeper's curse rising proudly from the rugged coastline near Newport, Oregon. The Yaquina Head Lighthouse is a striking monument to maritime ingenuity, but its storied past reveals a darker side. Commissioned in 1873, this elegant structure has stood vigil over the tumultuous waters of the Pacific Ocean, guiding countless vessels to safety. Yet beneath its shining beacon lies a tangled web of betrayal, heartbreak, and supernatural intrigue, a tale that begins with the enigmatic figure of Captain William Barker, the lighthouse's first official keeper. Captain Barker was a seasoned sailor whose appointment as keeper seemed fitting given his extensive knowledge of navigation and seamanship. However, his tenure quickly became marred by personal turmoil. Historical records suggest that Barker harbored a deep resentment toward his wife, Elizabeth, whom he accused of infidelity. Their marriage deteriorated rapidly under the strain of isolation and suspicion, culminating in a violent confrontation within the confines of the keeper's quarters. Witnesses reported hearing heated arguments echoing through the lighthouse's narrow corridors, punctuated by the sound of breaking glass and slamming doors. Then, one fateful night, Elizabeth vanished without a trace. Rumors swirled among locals, with some speculating that Barker had disposed of her body in the ocean, while others claimed she fled in terror, leaving behind only her wedding ring found lodged in a crack in the floorboards. Whatever the truth, Barker's behavior grew increasingly erratic in the months following her disappearance. He spoke of hearing her voice calling to him from the tower, insisting she demanded justice for the wrongs he had inflicted upon her. Colleagues noted his gaunt appearance and vacant stare, attributing his decline to guilt, or something far more sinister. Since then, Yaquina Head has gained notoriety as a hot spot for paranormal activity. Visitors frequently report hearing faint footsteps climbing the spiral staircase leading to the lantern room, accompanied by the sound of muffled sobbing. Some claim to see a translucent figure resembling a woman in Victorian attire standing at the edge of the cliffs, gazing mournfully out to sea. Others recount moments when the temperature drops suddenly, leaving them shivering despite the warmth of summer air. These chilling encounters are often attributed to Elizabeth's restless spirit, forever bound to the place where her life took such a tragic turn. Adding to the lighthouse's haunted lore is the recurring presence of Captain Barker himself. Guests exploring the keeper's quarters described feeling an oppressive weight pressing down on them, as though watched by unseen eyes. Tools and personal belongings left behind by modern caretakers have been found inexplicably rearranged or damaged, as if someone, or something, is attempting to communicate anger or frustration. On several occasions, security cameras positioned outside the lighthouse have captured shadowy figures pacing back and forth along the perimeter, their movements jerky and unnatural. Paranormal investigators conducting overnight sessions within Yaquina Head's walls have documented compelling evidence supporting these claims. Thermal imaging devices reveal significant cold spots concentrated near the base of the tower and inside the keeper's quarters. Audio recordings capture fragmented phrases spoken in low tones, including what sounds like a man muttering apologies interspersed with anguished cries. Perhaps the most unsettling discovery came during a live broadcast streamed online. Viewers watching the feed spotted a pale face peering out from one of the tower's windows, a face that disappeared the moment investigators turned to investigate. Despite, or perhaps because of, its haunted reputation, Yaquina Head continues to draw curious travelers eager to explore its rich history and mysterious ambience. Guided tours offer insight into the daily lives of lighthouse keepers, while nighttime excursions cater to those seeking a brush with the supernatural. For those brave enough to step across its threshold, the possibility of encountering Elizabeth's sorrowful specter, or confronting the guilt-ridden ghost of Captain Barker, adds an undeniable layer of excitement and trepidation. As waves crash against the rocks below, and the wind whistles through its ancient stones. Yaquina Head stands as a poignant reminder of the fragility of human relationships and the enduring power of unresolved emotions. Whether viewed as a beacon of hope or a prison for lost souls, this iconic lighthouse invites visitors to ponder the mysteries hidden within its walls, and consider whether some wounds can ever truly heal. Cape Blanco Lighthouse. The phantom sailor and the vanishing bride perch dramatically on a windswept bluff overlooking the Pacific Ocean. The Cape Blanco Lighthouse is one of Oregon's most picturesque yet eerily enigmatic landmarks. Established in 1870, it holds the distinction of being the state's oldest continuously operating lighthouse. But beyond its historical significance lies a tapestry of ghostly legends, each thread weaving together tales of tragedy, longing, and the supernatural. Among these, two stories stand out: the haunting presence of a phantom sailor and the tragic disappearance of a bride-to-be. The first legend centers around a nameless sailor whose ship met its doom off the treacherous Cape Blanco coast. According to local folklore, the vessel was caught in a fierce storm, its crew overwhelmed by towering waves and merciless winds. As the ship broke apart, the sailor managed to cling to a piece of debris, drifting aimlessly until he washed ashore near the lighthouse. Exhausted and delirious, he staggered toward the beacon, seeking refuge and salvation. Tragically, the harsh elements proved too much for him, and he succumbed to exposure just steps away from safety. Visitors to Cape Blanco often recount eerie encounters believed to be linked to this ill-fated sailor. Many describe hearing the faint sound of boots trudging through sand, accompanied by labored breathing, as if someone is struggling to reach the lighthouse. Others claim to see a hazy figure stumbling along the shoreline at dusk, his silhouette illuminated briefly by the setting sun before vanishing into the mist. Some have even reported feeling an icy hand grasp their shoulder, only to turn and find no one there. These phenomena are said to occur most frequently during storms, as though the sailor's spirit remains trapped in the tempest that claimed his life. Equally haunting is the tale of Emily Foster, a young woman who vanished mysteriously on the eve of her wedding in 1912. Emily, described as vivacious and deeply in love, had traveled to Cape Blanco with her fiancé to celebrate their upcoming nuptials. The couple planned to spend their final days as singles exploring the rugged beauty of the coastline. However, on the morning of their departure, Emily disappeared without explanation. Search parties combed the area for weeks, finding nothing but her bridal veil snagged on a thorny bush near the cliff's edge. To this day, guests visiting Cape Blanco report unsettling experiences tied to Emily's tragic fate. Many describe seeing a woman in a flowing white dress wandering the grounds, her expression one of profound sadness. Others recount waking up in the middle of the night to find their bedsheets tangled impossibly tight around their limbs, reminiscent of a bride's veil. Most disturbing are the accounts of hearing soft singing or humming emanating from empty rooms, the melody trailing off into silence as listeners attempt to locate its source. Paranormal investigators have conducted numerous expeditions within the lighthouse's walls, capturing intriguing evidence of its spectral inhabitants. EMF detectors register unusual spikes in areas associated with both the sailor and Emily's disappearances. Thermal cameras reveal cold spots concentrated near the base of the tower and along the cliffside paths. Perhaps the most compelling discovery came during an overnight investigation. A team using infrared cameras captured footage of a translucent figure descending the spiral staircase, pausing momentarily to glance directly into the lens before fading into obscurity. Despite, or perhaps because of, these chilling tales, Cape Blanco remains a beloved destination for tourists and history enthusiasts alike. Its sweeping views of the ocean and serene surroundings offer a stark contrast to the darker forces said to inhabit its premises. For those brave enough to visit, the opportunity to encounter the phantom sailor or the vanishing bride adds an element of spine-tingling excitement to an otherwise peaceful retreat. Yet, as each new visitor crosses its threshold, they must decide whether they are prepared to face the shadows lurking within, or risk becoming part of the lighthouse's haunted legacy themselves. Nestled along the rugged southern Oregon coast, the Umpqua River Lighthouse stands as a sentinel of resilience and renewal. Originally constructed in 1857, it was the first lighthouse built on the Oregon shore, marking a crucial waypoint for sailors navigating the treacherous waters of the Umpqua River estuary. However, its early years were plagued by disaster, earning it a reputation not only as a vital maritime aid but also as a site steeped in tragedy and spectral energy. The original structure, made of wood, succumbed to fire in 1864 after lightning struck during a violent storm. Flames engulfed the building, reducing it to charred ruins and leaving the coastline temporarily dark, a perilous situation for ships relying on its guiding light. The destruction claimed the lives of 2 keepers who had been inside the tower at the time, unable to escape the inferno. Local lore suggests their spirits remained tethered to the site, forever bound to the duty they died trying to fulfill. The haunting echoes of that fiery night are said to reverberate through the rebuilt lighthouse, completed in 1894, which now houses the Fresnel lens that casts its distinctive red and white beams across the water. Visitors to the Umpqua River Lighthouse often report strange sensations and unexplained phenomena believed to stem from the tragic fire. Many describe hearing faint crackling sounds, as though flames are licking at the walls, even though no fire exists. Others claim to smell an acrid, smoky odor wafting through the air, particularly near the base of the tower where the original structure once stood. Some have reported seeing shadowy figures darting through the corridors, their forms distorted and flickering like mirages. These apparitions are thought to be the spirits of the doomed keepers, still tending to their eternal watch despite the passage of time. Adding to the lighthouse's haunted reputation is the recurring presence of disembodied voices. Tourists and staff alike recount moments when they've heard faint whispers or shouts seemingly coming from empty rooms. The words are often unintelligible, though some claim to make out phrases such as, "Help me," or, "The light must shine." During one particularly chilling incident, a group of visitors swore they saw a man in period clothing standing atop the lantern room's catwalk, gesturing frantically toward the ocean before vanishing into thin air. Investigators reviewing security footage later confirmed the sighting, capturing the ethereal figure in grainy detail. The surrounding grounds of the Umpqua River Lighthouse contribute further to its eerie allure. Dense forests and shifting sands create an atmosphere of isolation, where the wind carries whispers of the past. Visitors walking along the trails near the lighthouse describe feeling an inexplicable chill, as though stepping into a pocket of cold air untouched by the sun. Others recount seeing orbs of light hovering above the ground, pulsating softly before dissipating into the darkness. These anomalies are often attributed to the restless spirits of sailors who perished in shipwrecks nearby, their cries for salvation carried inland by the ceaseless tide. Despite, or perhaps because of, its haunted reputation, the Umpqua River Lighthouse remains a popular destination for tourists and history buffs alike. Its striking architecture and panoramic views of the coastline offer a stark contrast to the darker forces said to inhabit its premises. For those brave enough to visit, the opportunity to encounter the spirits of the past adds an undeniable thrill to an otherwise serene experience. Yet, as each new visitor steps across its threshold, they must ask themselves, are they prepared to confront the echoes of fire and fury that linger within these walls? Or will they become another chapter in the lighthouse's haunted history? Patterns across Oregon's haunted lighthouses. As we peel back the layers of Oregon's haunted lighthouses, a striking pattern emerges. An intricate web of shared themes and motifs that transcend individual tales. These spectral sanctuaries, scattered along the rugged coastline, are united not only by their physical purpose as navigational aids, but also by the emotional resonance embedded in their histories. Each lighthouse tells a unique story, yet when viewed collectively, they reveal universal truths about human vulnerability, unresolved trauma, and the enduring power of memory. One of the most pervasive themes is the concept of unfinished business. Whether it's the phantom sailor of Cape Blanco, eternally striving to reach the safety denied him in life, or the spectral keepers of Tillamook Rock, still performing their nightly duties long after death, these spirits seem bound to the earthly realm by tasks left incomplete. Their presence manifests as restless energy, communicated through auditory phenomena, cries for help, footsteps climbing stairs, or disembodied voices whispering warnings. This motif underscores humanity's innate need for resolution, suggesting that even in death, the yearning for closure persists. Another recurring element is the role of isolation in amplifying paranormal activity. Lighthouses, by design, occupy remote and desolate locations, far removed from the comforts of civilization. This enforced solitude creates fertile ground for psychological tension, magnifying feelings of fear, paranoia, and despair. At Yaquina Head, Captain Barker's descent into madness serves as a chilling reminder of how isolation can warp the mind, while the tragic disappearance of Emily Foster at Cape Blanco highlights the fragility of human connections when severed by circumstance. The structural isolation of these lighthouses mirrors the emotional barriers erected by those who suffered within their walls, trapping emotions like guilt, regret, and sorrow in perpetuity. Lighting and sensory manipulation also feature prominently in these narratives. Flickering lights, sudden temperature drops, and inexplicable odors are staples of ghostly encounters, designed to disorient and unsettle. Such phenomena strip away the comfort of familiarity, forcing visitors to confront the unknown. The use of reflective surfaces, mirrors, polished lenses, and shimmering water adds another layer of psychological tension, as reflections distort perception and blur the boundary between self and other. This interplay of light and shadow becomes a tool wielded by unseen forces, creating moments of visceral terror that linger long after the initial shock subsides. Finally, the prevalence of historical context cannot be overstated. Each lighthouse's haunting is deeply rooted in its unique past, shaped by the socio-cultural milieu of its time. The fiery destruction of the original Umpqua River Lighthouse contrasts sharply with the somber elegance of Heceta Head's Lady in White, yet both narratives tap into broader archetypes of sacrifice, betrayal, and redemption. They remind us that history is not merely a sequence of dates and events but a living, breathing entity shaped by the emotions and actions of those who came before us. By drawing on these universal motifs, these haunted lighthouses transform from mere structures into repositories of collective memory, inviting us to peer into the abyss of our shared humanity. Thus, while each establishment boasts its own distinct flavor of fright, the underlying threads connecting them reveal a tapestry rich with meaning. These patterns remind us that the supernatural is not so much about the entities themselves but the stories they tell, the echoes of lives interrupted, passions extinguished, and truths obscured. As we continue to explore these haunted locales, we find ourselves grappling not only with the specters of the past but with the timeless questions they raise about life, death, and everything in between. Dear reader, as we bring this journey through Oregon's haunted lighthouses to a close, I hope you've felt the same spine-tingling allure that has drawn countless souls to these spectral sentinels. These stories are more than just campfire tales or urban legends. They are fragments of history, stitched together by human emotion, tragedy, and the unrelenting passage of time. Each creaking floorboard, each whispered name, and each fleeting shadow serves as a reminder that the past is never truly gone. It lingers, waiting for someone brave enough to listen. But why stop here? If these accounts have stirred something within you, a spark of curiosity, a shiver of excitement, I urge you to take the next step. Visit one of these haunted lighthouses yourself. Walk the same halls where spirits are said to roam, climb the spiral staircases that echo with footsteps from another era, and let the unknown brush against your senses. Whether you're a skeptic seeking proof or a believer eager to commune with the other side, these establishments offer an unparalleled opportunity to confront the mysteries that lie just beyond the veil. And when you return, share your story. Did you feel the icy touch of a ghostly hand? Hear the faint strains of music in an empty corridor? Or perhaps nothing happened at all, but isn't that silence just as intriguing? Your experiences add to the rich tapestry of lore surrounding these haunted lighthouses, ensuring their legacies endure for generations to come. Until then, keep your lanterns lit and your courage steady. The spirits are waiting.